3.5-year-old Su Mian, a cute metaphysics prodigy, clutches her milk bottle while fortune-telling and acting cute, making hearts race. This little darling, adored by the entire Su family, sweeps away rumors, exorcises ghosts, and displays extraordinary talent on her reality show livestream. Villains constantly scheme, but the Su family's grandaunt only needs a single talisman to put them in their place. This adorable little sprout, harboring thousands of years of cultivation, specializes in handling all sorts of villains, delivering satisfying face-slapping moments and healing hearts. The entire internet is begging for updates, unable to resist this inexplicable cuteness. The story begins at a bustling mansion, overflowing with guests. The security guards are exceptionally busy, barring entry to anyone without an invitation. They can't help but wonder why so many people are trying to sneak in today. He snorts, sternly ordering. The Su family is the richest in the Dragon Kingdom. Today is Su Old Master's 60th birthday, so there are bound to be many trying to curry favor. Everyone, stay alert and don't let anyone slip through, understand? Yes. The guards respond in unison. Suddenly, a small hand tugs at his sleeve. He looks down, glaring at the child, only to see the dirty little cutie ask, "Hello, is this Su Linqing's house?" Her cuteness momentarily stuns them. He squats down, gently coaxing, "Little friend, whose child are you? How did you get here? And you can't call our old master by his name directly. You should call him Grandpa Su." Su Mian innocently corrects him. "I can't call him Grandpa Su. That's the wrong generation. My name is Su Mian, and I'm his grandaunt. I'm here for his birthday, but I don't have an invitation. Could you please inform him?" she requests softly. Her outrageous words immediately put him on guard. He stands up abruptly, sternly saying, "Little friend, don't make up relatives. You can't enter without an invitation. Go away." He thinks to himself, a child who hasn't even been weaned, claiming to be the old master's grandaunt. The little girl anxiously explains, but I really am his grandaunt. My dad told me, and I even brought proof. Wait, I'll show you. She starts rummaging through her small bag. Suddenly, Su Mian is shoved hard. "Ah!" she cries out, stumbling and nearly falling. She turns to see two strangers. The one who pushed her is Lin Mei's son. Lin Mei, who considers herself high class, is the older sister of Su family's eldest son's girlfriend. She yells as if catching a thief, "Hey, little beggar, get away from our door." Hearing this, her mother scolds with disgust. "Why did you touch her? She's so dirty. Be careful of catching something." Lin Mei puts on an air of superiority, ordering everyone, "Pay attention, don't let this dirty child sneak in." The security guard immediately responds, "Don't worry, Miss Lin, I definitely won't let this child of unknown origin in." Seeing this, the little girl asks with confusion, "You're not even part of the Su family. Why aren't you letting Mian in?" The woman arrogantly says, "Let me tell you, my younger sister is about to marry the Su family's eldest son. I'm the eldest son's sister-in-law, and I have the right to keep little beggars like you out." Her son joins in, "Yeah, little beggar, you can't come in. Tui tui tui." Hearing this, Su Mian puffs out her cheeks in anger, retorting, "You're lying. I definitely can go in." The boy continues to look at her with disgust, still not giving up, and tries to push her again, yelling, "Stinky beggar, get lost." So the little girl bites him. He cries out in pain, "Ow, that hurts. Mommy, help." Seeing her son hurt, the woman furiously curses, "You little beggar, are you looking for a beating?" She's about to hit Su Mian and throw her out when suddenly someone walks in, coldly saying, "What are you doing at my door?" The newcomer is Su Chintow, the Su family's 7th young master. The security guards recognize him and respectfully greet, "7th young master, you're back." He looks at the unfamiliar child, asking with confusion, "Whose child is this?" At the same time, the little girl also studies him carefully, thinking to herself, "Dad said Su Old Master has 7 grandsons. You must be the 7th. So she innocently calls out, "Hello, grandnephew." Su Chintow is completely taken aback. The little girl continues, "Grandnephew, my dad is Su Linqing, and I'm your grandaunt." He asks in disbelief, "What did you just call me?" At this moment, the little girl takes out a family tree, saying, "Look closely, this is my proof." He says frantically, "Hey, little friend, are you mistaken? Grandaunt, we're generations apart." But when he sees the proof, he can't help but think, "Wait, isn't this the jade that Dad treasures in his safe? Could this child be telling the truth? But no matter how cute she is, she can't possibly be my grandaunt, right? This is too outrageous." While he's still stunned, the little girl looks at him trustingly. "See, Mian, Mian isn't crazy. I really am Mian's great-great-grandson. Just then, the woman walked over saccharinely and said, Chintow, let me tell you, it's normal for a child to be a little dirty and have some mental issues. Don't be fooled. He picked up the little girl and said dismissively, Xiao Fei, stay away from me. I don't know you. Your sister isn't even married to my brother yet. You, an outsider, have no right to tell me what to do. Damn it. The woman was so angry she couldn't speak, only thinking in a daze. How dare Su Chintow treat me like this? He's just a third-rate celebrity. Once my sister takes control of the Su family, I'll make him lick my shoes and see if he still dares to be so arrogant. The banquet hall was brightly lit, and people were shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries. Oh, isn't this Seventh Young Master? Seventh Young Master, I bought 10 tickets to support your movie last time. Seventh Young Master, long time no see, you're getting more and more handsome. He said indifferently, excuse me, where's my father? Take me to him. He immediately became the focus of everyone's discussion. Su Chintow really thinks he's a big shot. Without the Su family, he would have been living on the streets long ago. Right? He just got lucky and was reborn. That little girl couldn't be his illegitimate daughter, could she? He silently protected the little girl in his arms. It must be the video of Su Chintow entering a hotel with a woman a few days ago that was exposed and caused a huge uproar, trending online for days. If it were me, I wouldn't dare bring my illegitimate daughter home. It's too embarrassing. The little girl saw everything. Mian thought, how can they gossip about others behind their backs? This is wrong. Mian needs to teach these bad people a lesson. Thinking of this, the little girl took out a talisman. Then she quickly commanded, go, go, go. The talisman immediately flew towards its target. It landed right on the person's head. Before they could react, they fell to the ground with a thud. Their face was bruised and swollen. Ouch! How did this happen so suddenly? The little girl snickered inwardly. The villain talisman really works. Then she said, Grandnephew, your great-grand has taught those gossip mongers a lesson for you. He praised, you're amazing. Inwardly, he suppressed his emotions. A child's nonsense can't be taken seriously, but being cared for by such a cute child still warmed his heart. The little girl immediately replied, Mian is very powerful. Soon, the two arrived at the door. It was still closed. He stepped inside and shouted, Dad, I'm back. He was scolded by his father as soon as he entered. Why did you bring your daughter to my birthday banquet? Do you want to be trending again? Su Linsheng, the richest man in Longhua, continued to scold. I spent tens of millions suppressing the trending topics and controlling public opinion a few days ago, and you just wasted all the money your brother worked so hard to earn. Stay there, he said, placing the little girl on the table. His father looked her over. Then he happily coaxed the child, as expected of a descendant of the Su family. You're so beautiful. Good girl. Call me Grandpa. I'll give you a Jim Manley meeting gift. He couldn't help but say, Dad, don't be biased. Suddenly, Mian widened her eyes and said, No, you're not my grandpa, great-great-grandson. I'm your great-grand Aunt Mian. The little girl introduced herself again. He didn't react for a moment. Great-grand-aunt. Mian. The little girl blinked playfully. Su Linsheng angrily kicked his son to vent. Look at him. He dropped out of school to join the entertainment industry, and look what he's learned. Su Chintow desperately explained, Dad, I swear I really didn't mess around with any women. I met this little girl outside, just now. She's wearing a jade pendant identical to yours, and says she's your great-grand-aunt, so I brought her in. J'attendais, he exclaimed. At this moment, Mian spoke up to smooth things over. Grandson, you can't hit your great-great-grandson. Mian likes her grandson. Grandson, look, Mian really is your distant great-grand-aunt. Saying this, the little girl took out the jade pendant and a letter. He looked at the jade pendant, then at the cute little girl, and pondered for a moment. When I was a child, I was naughty and accidentally dropped my uncle's jade pendant, leaving that crack. There's a crack on the character Su, and it's in the exact same place. Is what this little girl saying true? But when my uncle married into the Zhang family, a cultivation family, at the age of 20, I was only 7. By now, my uncle should be 73 years old. How could he have such a young daughter? Unable to draw any conclusions, Su Linsheng continued reading the letter. It clearly stated that Su Gudan sending this letter was akin to meeting him in person. By the time you read this letter, the Zhang family and I will have fallen into a deep sleep without even the time to inform Mian. You must take Mian in and care for her well. The Su family was once extremely prosperous, with flourishing fortune, but now it has been targeted by evil people and will face a great calamity. Mian can help you overcome this difficulty. loyalty. And at the same time, the Su family must help Mian gain everyone's love, accumulate faith and merit, so that everyone can awaken soon. After reading the letter was addressed to him. He silently folded it, understanding everything. Looking at Mian's innocent appearance, he thought with pity, little Aunt Mian probably doesn't know that everyone is asleep yet. If she knew, she would definitely cry. Su Linxing's eyes were firm. Even if it doesn't benefit the Su family in any way, I am willing to take care of her. So he immediately bowed respectfully. Little Aunt Mian, your grandnephew greets you. The little girl responded excitedly, good grandson. At the same time, she presented a gift with both hands. This is Mian's birthday and greeting gift for you. He was momentarily stunned. The little girl then explained, this is Venus's beard. He heard that Mian was going home to celebrate her grandnephew's 60th birthday, so he cut off his own beard for me to bring back as a gift. Mian suddenly noticed something amiss. The little girl pointed at the string of prayer beads and said seriously, grandnephew, don't wear these prayer beads anymore. He was slightly taken aback. Can you tell what's wrong with these prayer beads? The little girl thought for a moment and said, they carry resentment. They're made of human bones. Is it because you wear these prayer beads that you can't sleep well at night? He immediately took them off without hesitation. Then he remembered that this string of prayer beads was a gift from his eldest son, Lin Ru's girlfriend. She said that the abbot had personally consecrated them, so he had been wearing them. The little girl suggested, grandnephew, give them to me. It's not good to keep this thing in your house. Saying that, she put the prayer beads into her small bag. At this moment, Su Linxing saw that his son was still standing there dumbfounded. So he nudged him gently and reminded him, what are you still standing there for? I, your father, have already greeted your little aunt. Why haven't you knelt down to kowtow to your great-grandmother? He gritted his teeth in anger, but didn't dare to complain, thinking, forget it, I can't scold my own father. Then he heard his father's stern command, kowtow when you're told to. Address her correctly, or you'll be punished. Helpless, he bowed. Great-grandaunt, your junior, Su Chinfei, greets you. The little girl was overjoyed because someone finally kowtowed to her. So she generously said, good great-grandson, great-grand, and also has a greeting gift for you. After the initial formalities were completed, he coaxed her, little Aunt Mian, you're a little dirty. Let the servants take you to take a bath and change your clothes. Okay. The little girl obediently agreed. Okay. Mian happily soaked in the bathtub and said cheerfully, so comfortable. Suddenly, achoo. The tip of her nose itched, and the little one couldn't help but sneeze achoo. Seeing this, the servants bustled around, lifting her out of the bathtub and soothing her softly. Quickly, have Dr. Lu on standby. If the little miss keeps sneezing, she might catch a cold. The little one said innocently, no need, someone is talking bad about me behind my back. It's not a cold. This caused the servants to burst into laughter. Our little miss is so cute, like a fairy descending to earth. If I could have such a beautiful daughter, my life would be worthwhile. Hearing this, a maid couldn't help but sigh. Oh, I only give birth to stinky boys. When will I have a daughter? The little one looked at her and said seriously, you'll have a daughter soon. Don't worry. The maid was stunned. At this moment, a pair of imposing footsteps approached the doorway. Someone called out. Little Mississippi Mian was startled and looked back to see that the newcomer was none other than Madame Su, the matriarch of the Su family. Madame Su smiled and bowed. Granddaughter-in-law greets little Mississippi. The little one couldn't help but sigh inwardly. So beautiful, even more beautiful than my grandson. She subconsciously patted herself. Where's my bag? Little miss, your bag is here. A servant quickly handed it over. The little one obediently took it. Thank you. Then she rummaged through the bag. Mian excitedly took out something and handed it to Madame Su. Here, this is a gift for you. Being singled out like this, Madame Su was momentarily speechless, thinking that this jade bracelet had just been bought by a wealthy Hong Kong businessman for 300 million. Seeing her stunned silence, the little one became anxious. Don't you like Mian's greeting gift? Then I'll give you another one. She rummaged through her bag again. My grandnephew likes ginseng whiskers. You should like them too. Madame Su finally regained her composure and said repeatedly, little Miss Mian, don't be angry. Your granddaughter-in-law was just mesmerized by your cuteness. She didn't mean she didn't like your gift. Such a precious jade bracelet. You should keep it for yourself. The little girl generously replied, if you like it, I'll give it to you. I have many more at home. Madame Su was momentarily speechless. She thought to herself that since the child was still so young, she would keep the bracelet for her for the time being, lock it in the safe, and it could be part of her dowry in the future. She gently coaxed, "Little Miss Mian Mian, would you like your granddaughter-in-law to help you change your clothes?" "Okay." The little girl stretched out her arms, wanting to be held. Seeing the scene before her, the little girl was stunned. Her eyes widened, and her mouth gaped open. The moment she was carried into the room, she couldn't help but exclaim, "Wow." It was the first time she had seen such a sight. So many beautiful dresses. A moment later, a beautiful dress was put on the little girl, and she happily twirled around. She asked, "Granddaughter-in-law, what do you think?" Madame Sue bent down, her eyes level with the little girl's, her face full of approval. Our little Miss Mian Mian has such good taste. This dress looks beautiful on you." The little girl grinned from ear to ear. Hee hee. Just then, a servant came to report, "Madam, the master says the banquet is about to begin." Inside the magnificent banquet hall, Madame Sue carried Mian Mian into the hall and introduced her to everyone. "The tallest one over there is your great-nephew, Su Changjin. He's loved money since he was a child, so he's the one managing the family business." At that moment, Su Changjin, the eldest son of the Su family, was still socializing for the family's benefit. Madame Su didn't introduce anyone else, only explaining, besides him and Lao Chi, the other grandchildren and great-grandchildren are all busy and couldn't make it today. The little girl looked in the direction she pointed. Seeing the man's face, she suddenly thought, "Why? Does something seem off about my great-nephew?" Su Qingjin looked extremely tired, his dark circles even deeper. Seeing him made one Rembuju, Su Chu Jianghua. Mian Mian curiously asked, "Granddaughter-in-law, who is the woman standing next to my great-nephew? One of them stopped me at the door earlier." Madame Sue answered, expressing her own feelings at the same time. "Those are the Lin sisters, Lin Ru and Lin Mei. Somehow, my great-nephew suddenly insisted on marrying Lin Ru. I don't like her at all." Just then, someone said, "Since Mian Mian is here, let the banquet begin." Seeing him enter, the little girl excitedly called out, "Great-nephew." He then led the little girl and his wife to the center of the banquet hall and announced, "Thank you all for coming to my birthday banquet. Before the banquet begins, Grandpa has an important announcement to make." Hearing this, Lin Ru was overjoyed and took his hand, saying, "Are you going to announce our engagement?" He looked at her tenderly and replied, "Yes." Seeing this, she was ecstatic, thinking to herself that it was fortunate that Master had cast a spell to make Qingjin fall in love with her. Now he was finally hers. But on the stage, Su Changjin announced, "The one I'm holding in my arms is a member of our family." Lin Ru was stunned, wondering why he didn't announce their engagement first. Lin Mei hurriedly interjected, "Mr. Su, today is your birthday. Let's talk about happy things, not something that will embarrass the Su family." He said coldly, "Who are you? The Su family's affairs are none of your business." The shameless woman took her sister's hand, insisting on claiming kinship. "I'm Lin Mei, the older sister of Lin Ru, your son's girlfriend." Lin Ru politely called out, "Hello, uncle." Then, the ignorant woman started pointing fingers, not forgetting to expose the Su family's shortcomings. "The one you're holding, isn't she Lao Chi's illegitimate daughter?" Saying that out loud will damage the Su family's reputation. "I'm doing this for the Su family's good." Lin Ru awkwardly tugged at her sister's hand. "Sister, stop talking." She thought to herself, "Sister, you're so embarrassing." Hearing an outsider lecture him like this, he angrily corrected her. "Who told you this little girl is Lao Chi's illegitimate daughter? She is my grandaunt Mian Mian, and also Lao Chi's grandaunt." The little girl echoed, "That's right, Mian Mian is grandaunt." The sisters were stunned for a few seconds. "Sir, don't joke. This little girl is your grandaunt." They had initially intended to take advantage, and now they even dared to talk back to him. He immediately settled the score. "I heard you call my grandaunt a beggar at the door and had your son push her. Now you're here interrupting again. The Su family doesn't welcome unruly guests. Someone, get them out of here." Hearing this, their faces instantly changed. Lin Ru quickly pleaded, "Qingjin, the sisters didn't know grandaunt's identity. They were ignorant. Please help persuade your father." Lin Mei was still shouting, "Let go of me. Tell them to let go of me." He agreed without hesitation. Lin Mei secretly gloated to herself. "Master's spell really is powerful. Qingjin really loves me now." Immediately after, he actually spoke up, "Dad, it's your birthday today. Please forgive them." The moment he arrived, the little girl was stunned. She looked carefully at my nephew's face. Sure enough, there was a problem. His fate trajectory had already been changed. So she activated her celestial eye. Once opened, the little miss immediately noticed something was wrong. That black thread was forcibly pulling the two's connection together. But the red thread was the true, destined connection, tied personally by the Yulao. So she stepped in to help, big brooch, put great-grandma down. "Nephew, come here for a moment." Su Changjin obediently walked over and bowed respectfully. "Hello, great-grandma." The little girl said happily, "Good, good. Nephew, don't be afraid. Leave this matter to great-grandma." He was confused, not knowing what to be afraid of. One hand held a wooden sword, the other grabbed the black thread. Snap! She cleanly and neatly cut the forcibly connected thread. Then the little girl said, "All right, nephew, Mian has removed all the bad things for you, right?" At this moment, Su Qingjin came back to his senses. He thought his body suddenly felt much lighter, but why were there so many strange memories in his mind? He looked at Lin Ru suspiciously. Why do I suddenly like Lin Ru? Afterwards, the little girl presented a meeting gift and conveniently stuck a fake mustache on her nephew. Su Qingjin replied in a daze, "Thank you for the gift, great-grandma." Inwardly, he thought, "Damn it, I must take back their mustaches in the future." Hee. All right, everything's settled. Su Linqing announced to the guests. "I apologize for the spectacle. My little great-aunt is young, but her seniority is high. I have to make this clear, otherwise, someone ignorant might offend her. It's getting late. Thank you all for coming to celebrate my birthday. Let's eat." The little girl happily sat at the dining table, Mr. and Mrs. Su flanking her, with Su Qingjin and Lin Ru sitting next to them. On the other side were relatives and Uncle Su Qinfei. The little girl asked curiously, "Why aren't you eating?" Su Linqing honestly replied, "Great-grandma, please go ahead." The little girl understood and waved her chopsticks. "Let's all eat together." Mr. and Mrs. Su couldn't help but smile, thinking that their little great-aunt must often play grown-up at home, imitating them perfectly. They immediately served her food. "Little Mian, eat more." The little girl ate happily. Delicious, delicious. Then she pointed at a dish and said, "I want that one. Thank you." She didn't forget to remind everyone. "Everyone eat. Don't just watch me. This and that are all super delicious." Su Linqing responded with a smile. Okay. Lin Ru anxiously asked Qingjin, "Do your great-grandma and great-grandpa dislike me? Why haven't they mentioned the engagement yet?" Su Changjin said coldly, "I need to think about it some more." Hearing him say this about the engagement, Lin Ru was stunned. How could this be? No, she had to act quickly. "Su Qingjin, you're forcing my hand." She gritted her teeth inwardly. "We'll try a different approach." "Su Qingjin, you're forcing my hand." Suddenly, all the lights in the banquet hall went out, and the crowd below stirred. What's wrong with the lights on the main stage? Lin Ru tightly gripped Su Qingjin's arm. A spotlight shone directly on him, and he announced loudly, "Everyone, today, I have something very important to announce." Hearing this, Su Linqing grumbled angrily under his breath. What is this eldest grandson up to again? Mian's eyes widened suddenly, as if she had discovered something. Looking at Su Qingjin's face, she noticed a black aura swirling around him. She then understood that this was no longer her eldest grandson, but clearly someone possessed. If this continued, it would damage his body. Thinking of this, Mian quickly climbed down from her chair, her little feet pitter-pattering as she ran over. Even Mrs. Su was startled. "Eldest grandson, great-grandma is here to save you." At this point, Su Qingjin was completely controlled. He knelt at Lin Ru's feet and took out an expensive ring. Ru. Seeing this, Lin Ru was secretly delighted. From now on, Lin Ru, will be the young madam of the Su family. Her face was full of anticipation as she thought, "All the women in the world will be beneath my feet." Say those words quickly. "Ru, will you marry?" Su Qingjin stopped mid-sentence. Lin Ru stared in shock at the red thread flying before her eyes. She gaped, watching the little girl desperately pull the red thread away from Su Qingjin, wondering what's going on. How can that little girl grab that thread? At this moment, Mian was pulling with all her might. Su Qingjin suddenly felt a splitting headache. Seeing her plan about to fail, Lin Ru angrily pushed Mian away. "Get lost." Fortunately, an arm caught her just in time. Su Qinfei scolded sternly, "Lin Ru, you dare push our great-grandma. Are you looking for death?" She forced a smile and explained, "What are you talking about? I just wanted to pull her back." "I didn't." His face darkened, and he questioned, "You still dare to deny it in front of so many people? There's surveillance video in the hall. Do you want me to play it?" Seeing this, she immediately turned to her boyfriend for help. "Qingjin, say something for me." Mian Mian ignored her and continued to pull the string. After a while, the little girl pulled a ghost out of Qingjin's body. She fearlessly grabbed it and cheered happily, "I caught it." Su Qingjin came to his senses and looked at what she was holding in shock. "I was just possessed." He stood up and said coldly, "I saw everything." He said angrily, "Lin Ru, you've gone too far. Someone, take her out." Seeing that Su Qingjin was no longer controlled, Lin Ru covered her mouth in horror. "It's over. I'm doomed." As soon as she finished speaking, she collapsed to the ground and fainted. Meanwhile, Mian Mian was interrogating the ghost. "Why did you get into my great-great-grandson's body?" It pleaded fearfully, "Little fairy, please spare me. It was that woman who told me to possess him." It put on a pitiful look and said, "Little fairy, can you loosen your grip a little? You're hurting me. Ouch, it really hurts." Mian Mian kindly loosened her grip a little and said, "Really? Then I'll loosen it a bit." Su Qinfei stepped forward to stop her. "Great-grandma, don't let it go." Mian Mian asked in surprise, "Great-great-grandson, can you see ghosts?" He replied happily, "I couldn't see them before, but now I can see them clearly." "Great-grandma, can you trap it? It just possessed me. I don't think it's a good thing." Hearing this, the ghost pleaded repeatedly, "No, don't trap me." But Mian Mian said with a flowery smile, "Okay, Mom said to listen to my great-great-grandson, so I'll listen to you and trap the ghost." The ghost screamed, "Ah." Finally, it became ferocious and threatened, "Let me go, or none of you will have a good ending." The little girl ignored it and calmly rolled it into a ball. After that, Mian Mian also stuck a talisman on it, subduing it. The little girl happily said to everyone, "Now it can't hurt anyone anymore." Su Qinfei also gave a thumbs up and praised, "That's amazing." Su Qingjin quickly picked Mian Mian up, turned around, and explained to everyone, "My great-grandmother just thought that place was interesting and went to take a look, but Lin Ru thought she was being disturbed and actually pushed her. With such character, she is not worthy of being my wife. I apologize for making everyone laugh. Please continue your meal." The well-behaved little girl immediately clasped her hands together and said happily, "Everyone eat." The entire Su family was sitting in the spacious living room. Su Qinfei fed Mian Mian pastries piece by piece, and the little girl's eyes narrowed with a smile. "So yummy." Suddenly, the little girl looked at Su Linsheng and said, "Great nephew, Mian Mian has completed the task Dad gave me. I'm going home." His face immediately became worried. "No, the letter clearly states that little great-grandma cannot be allowed to go back." The old man hurriedly stopped her. "Little ancestor, you can't go anywhere. I had a sudden inspiration and found a reason to keep Mian Mian. My two sons have encountered strange things recently and are still waiting for you to help catch ghosts." As he said this, he winked at his family. Mrs. Su also echoed, "That's right, little ancestor. Without your help, those two boys will definitely be crying in a few days." Su Qinfei also nodded, "Yes, if you go back, my brother and I won't dare to go home." The naive Mian Mian was completely fooled and said enthusiastically, "Then let me see where the ghosts are. I'll go home after I catch them." Hearing this, the Su family were all dumbfounded. "Little ancestor, we didn't ask you to catch ghosts now." Mian Mian immediately took out a Bagua compass from her pocket. The Su family had no choice but to follow behind her. The compass clicked and clacked, turning left and right, and suddenly stopped. The little girl rubbed her eyes, looking exhausted. Not good. Her little legs swayed, her eyes glazed over, and she lost control of herself. Then she stumbled and fell backward, so sleepy. Fortunately, Mrs. Su caught her in time. Mian Mian nestled obediently in her arms and fell into a deep sleep. Mrs. Su turned and signaled everyone to be quiet. Looking at Mian Mian sleeping peacefully on the bed, Mrs. Su sighed, "Alas, keeping it a secret is not a solution. If little ancestor finds out about her parents, will she use magic to go back?" Suddenly, the little girl cried out in panic, "Mommy, Daddy, wake up." She asked worriedly, "Is little ancestor having a nightmare? What should we do now?" She didn't know what she was dreaming about, but her little hands were tightly clenched, and her face was covered in tears. Well, at this moment, Mian Mian was sitting by her parents' bed, helplessly shouting, "Don't sleep anymore. Wake up." Her voice was hoarse, "Mommy, Daddy." But the two remained motionless. Mian Mian cried anxiously, "Mommy, Daddy, don't sleep anymore. Mian Mian is back." Mian Mian wiped her tears and tried to calm herself down. Suddenly, she remembered the family treasure, the Jiang family's sacred steel. Her mother had told her to seek the steel when faced with unsolvable problems. With this in mind, she immediately ran towards it. Let's go to the sacred steel. It will definitely know how to help me. She hadn't run far when her little foot tripped on a stone. Ouch! Mian Mian fell to the ground, crying out in pain. The fall made the little one cry, sobbing uncontrollably. But soon, Mian Mian gritted her teeth and encouraged herself. Be strong, Mom and Dad are still waiting for me. Just as she had hoped, she arrived quickly. Mian Mian hugged the sacred steel tightly and cried, "Oh, sacred steel, please save Mian Mian." At this moment, a white light suddenly burst from around the steel, and her parents' figures appeared before her. "Sweetheart, don't cry." Her mother comforted her gently. "Be good, don't cry anymore." Mian Mian reached out, her voice choked with sobs. "Mom, Dad." She threw herself into her mother's arms sadly and asked, "How did you become spirits?" Her mother gently stroked her hair and softly comforted her. "Mian Mian, Mom and Dad were just unlucky. You just need to use your skills, accumulate blessings, and do good deeds." As she spoke, her mother quickly took out a small bottle and instructed, "Fill this bottle, and Mom and Dad can come back." Her father also touched her head and comforted her. "Yes, our good girl, Mom and Dad will be waiting for you in the sacred steel. You just need to awaken us." The little girl sadly hugged the bottle. Mian Mian will work hard to fill it. Before leaving, her mother reminded her, "Listen to your great-grandnephew at home, and don't be willful, okay? Even if Mom and Dad sleep for a long time, Mian Bao shouldn't dwell on it. You need to be happy." Hearing this, she started crying again. "No, I don't want to be happy. I just want Mom and Dad to wake up." Their figures gradually faded, and Mian Mian reached out but couldn't grasp them. She cried, "I don't want to listen to him. I only listen to Mom and Dad." Just like that, Mian Mian cried her heart out, sobbing uncontrollably. In reality, the little girl suddenly opened her eyes. Su Qinfei anxiously asked, "Little ancestor, are you all right?" Su Linsheng also nervously asked, "Little ancestor, are you okay? What did you dream about?" Mian Mian sat up calmly and replied, "Mom and Dad said that they can only wake up if I fill this bottle with faith points and merits." As she spoke, she took out a tortoise shell from her pocket and tossed it forcefully. The tortoise shell quickly transformed into a complete little turtle, wobbling towards Su Qinfei. Su Qinfei's eyes widened. What is the little ancestor trying to do? Mian Mian widened her eyes and said seriously to everyone, "The turtle has already divined for Mian Mian. Following great-grandnephew will save Mom and Dad. Does great-grandnephew need Mian Mian's help? The turtle also divined that by following my great-great-grandson, we can save Mom and Dad. Does great-great-grandson need Mian Mian's help?" Su Qinfei scratched his head embarrassedly and said, "I'm participating in a family life variety show and want to use this show to restore my reputation." He took Mian Mian's hand and suggested, "So I want to invite little ancestor to join me on the reality show. We'll start filming in a week." Su Linsheng glared from behind and scolded, "What a joke. Little ancestor has only been home for a few days. How can you let that kid take her to film a show?" But the little girl said excitedly, "Mian Mian wants to participate. Mian Mian will work hard to do well." This surprised everyone. He had no choice but to reluctantly agree. Since little ancestor wants to film, our Su family will invest money to create momentum and make little ancestor famous. Hearing this, Su Qingjin quickly stopped him, forcefully promoting her with money might backfire and make the audience resentful. Seventh uncle is a prime example. These words felt like 1,000 arrows piercing his heart. Su Qinfei gently reminded, and the merits little ancestor accumulates won't be counted anymore. Su Linsheng stroked his chin and nodded. Right, we still need to be low-key." A week later, filming officially began, and the director's voice rang out. "Start. The daily life of a cute child." The host quickly walked in front of the camera and introduced with a smile, "Hello everyone, welcome to our live stream. Now we're going to surprise Su Qinfei in the morning. Are you all looking forward to it?" She gently pushed open his bedroom door. "Next, let's go into the room together and see what the big star does in the morning." But at this moment, a wave of negative comments flooded the live stream. "Who wants to see this trash?" Su Chinfei still has the nerve to show his face. Wasn't he embroiled in a drug scandal? This kind of person should be arrested and jailed. Money can buy popularity. I heard the child he brought is an illegitimate child. The program team actually allowed this to happen. Inside, everything was luxurious and magnificent. Su Chinfei and Mian Mian were still sound asleep. Viewers watching a live stream were relentlessly criticizing. This is hilarious. It's so late and they're still not up. Don't they know they're live? This is so typical of Su Chinfei. No wonder he's not popular. How could someone so lazy be famous? He's so lazy, he's completely useless. The program team should just replace him. Su Qingjin sat in front of the screen, watching the live stream, fuming. That boy promised he'd wake up early. Now, even little ancestor is being scolded. This is unacceptable. He immediately picked up his phone and typed a few comments defending them. Little ancestor is so cute. What's wrong with a child sleeping a little longer? But by then, countless negative comments had already appeared. Boycott Su Chinfei. He spoils the child way too much. Seeing this, Mrs. Su suggested, "Let me go wake him up." She stood in front of Chinfei's bed and shouted, "Seventh, get up." The show has already started recording. She crossed her arms and glared at her son. If I wasn't afraid of waking little ancestor, I would have dragged this stinky boy out of bed already. He's sleeping like a log. Suddenly, Mian Mian rubbed her eyes and woke up. The adorable little girl called out, "Wifey, good morning." Hearing this, Mrs. Su's face lit up with a smile. Oh my, how can my little ancestor be so cute? She wished she could hug her immediately. She leaned down and whispered, "Little ancestor, the show has already started recording." Upon hearing this, Mian Mian happily threw off the covers. "Yay, I'm awake." Then she sat in front of the camera and cheerfully said, "Good morning, everyone. Iem su Mian Mian." Seeing the cute little girl, the netizens instantly went wild. Ah, this baby is so cute. She's a sweet, soft, and fragrant little princess. She makes me want a daughter too. I'm completely captivated. I'm definitely following this show for her. Wait, this baby called Su Chinfei's mother wifey. What's their relationship? Mrs. Su stood to the side, looking helplessly at her still sleeping son. Little ancestor is awake, and he's still not up. She couldn't help but raise her hand, ready to give him some physical encouragement. "Are you getting up or not?" Mian Mian quickly stopped her. "Wifey, wait," she whispered in her ear. "Last night, a ghost came to find Mian Mian and scared Seventh half to death. Let him sleep a little longer, wifey." At that time, Chinfei was being held down by a ghost, mumbling in a daze, "I don't want to get up." The little girl sitting next to him saw everything, but Mian Mian had already subdued the ghost doll and stayed by his side all night to ensure he slept peacefully. Mrs. Su understood the situation, so that's what happened. All right then, but they were live on air, and they had to go to the airport for outdoor filming at 11. Thinking of this, she explained to Mian Mian, "Little ancestor, wifey knows you feel bad for Seventh, but the show is important. We have to wake him up now." The little girl reluctantly agreed. "Okay, wake Seventh up." As soon as she finished speaking, Mrs. Su's face darkened, and she gave Chinfei's backside a hard smack. Chinfei cried out in pain. Ow. The netizens burst into laughter. That's definitely his mom. One smack, and he's awake. He was still rubbing his eyes, looking dazed. Suddenly, he remembered, "Oh right, aren't we filming the show today?" He quickly sat up. He ran his hand through his handsome hair and flashed a bright smile. "Good morning, my babies." The netizens immediately went into Dutal mode. What the heck? This loser is so greasy. Disgusting. Who are your babies? Get off the show. Get out of the entertainment industry with your illegitimate daughter. Mian Mian looked at the person on the bed and called out, "Seventh grandpa." "Seventh grandpa?" The little girl squinted her eyes and smiled. "Good morning." Su Chinfei smiled and ruffled her hair. "Good morning, little ancestor." Because of this action, the barrage instantly exploded. I'm dying of laughter. Su Chinfei is such a walking meme. His face changes in a second. I didn't even react. 1 second, he looked like he wanted to eat someone. The next second, I'm his fan. Does this gentle dad really exist? He even calls her little ancestor. Hearing his response, the little girl innocently held up her fingers and counted. "Seventh grandpa, we have to brush our teeth, wash our faces, then eat, then take a car, then take a plane. We have so many things to do today." Suddenly, Su Chinfei scooped her up around the waist. He excitedly hoisted her onto his shoulders. "All right, let's go brush our teeth." Up and away. The little girl giggled as she was lifted up. "Let's go." The pair, one big and one small, stood in front of the mirror, ready to brush their teeth. He respectfully presented her with a toothbrush loaded with toothpaste. "Little ancestor, please use your toothbrush." The little girl happily took the toothbrush and patted his head affectionately. "You're such a good grandnephew. Little ancestor likes you the most." The two of them brushed their teeth together, then washed their faces together with the same towel. Smiling, he took a jar of face cream labeled 7th Grandpa from the cabinet. "Little ancestor, let your grandnephew apply some moisturizer for you, okay?" The little girl obediently agreed, "Okay." He gently and carefully applied the cream to her face. As he was busy applying the cream, a voice rang out, "Lao Chi, what are you doing? Today is Monday. You should use the cream we bought for little ancestor." Su Linsheng immediately kicked Su Chinfei in the waist and scolded, "You're secretly using your own cream. Do you want a beating?" He yelped in pain, "Ouch!" And the cream jar fell into Mianmian's hands. Ignoring him, Su Linsheng walked straight to the little girl to complain. "Little ancestor, he's not following the rules. You have to make a fair judgment." Su Chinfei, while tearing up in pain, defended himself. "Dad, we're recording a show. Can you please not do this?" Su Linsheng still ignored him and said to the little girl, "We agreed. On Mondays we use my grandson's cream." At this point, the little girl looked at the 7th Grandpa label and said, "Wrong one." She immediately picked up the cream labeled eldest grandson and said in a childish voice, "Mian is a grown-up. Mian has to be fair." The little girl innocently continued to apply the cream to her face. Turning to Su Linsheng, she said with a smile, "Mian is using eldest grandson's cream. Mian is always the fairest and most upright person." He responded with helpless indulgence, All right. Because of his unparalleled doting, the barrage exploded. Su Chinfei's dad also calls her little ancestor. Her identity is definitely not simple, but some people questioned, do you really believe it? This is clearly the Su family whitewashing Su Chinfei. Su Linsheng, Su Chinfei's father, is a famous big shot. How could a 60-year-old man lower himself to fake this? Just then, a small figure appeared, reminding everyone, it's almost time for the Q&A session. Please get ready, guests. Soon after, Su Chinfei gently led Mian downstairs. Step by step, they walked down the stairs, the little girl's round, cute face clearly visible. Netizens also left messages. So cute. Let me take a sniff. She makes me want to have a daughter again. After the two sat down on the sofa, reporters immediately rushed over, shoving their cameras in the little girl's face. Another person held a microphone and asked in a low voice, Mian, what is your relationship with Su Chinfei? The little girl leaned closer to the camera, staring straight at the lens with a puzzled look. Seventh grandson said that when asked questions in private, I should look at the camera. Is this how it's done? Her innocent, bright eyes, brighter than stars, appeared clearly in the lens. She raised her hand and waved, introducing herself. I'm his great-great-great-grandmother, and he's my 7th-generation grandson. This action immediately caused a stir among netizens. Ah, this little girl is so cute. Oh my God, she's so young and already knows how to lie ha. If she really is his great-great-great-grandmother and he's her 7th-generation grandson, I'll wash my hair upside down. He kindly leaned closer to her and asked, is there any proof? Could you ask your parents to confirm? Hearing this question, the little girl hugged her teddy bear and started to cry. Mommy, Daddy. Seeing her tears, he didn't let up, continuing, be good, Mian, don't cry. Your dad is here, but your mom isn't, right? This clearly displeased Su Chinfei, who was sitting beside her. Netizens also offered Shin Kong words of comfort. Stop asking, she's about to cry. This question is too tricky. It's practically implying she's an illegitimate child. Su Chinfei finally couldn't stand it anymore. All right, the interview is over. But the little girl grabbed him, wiped her tears, and said, it's okay. Her face was full of sadness as she honestly said, my dad is called Su Shanqi, and my mom is called Jianyao. They're both sleeping now and can't talk. She looked up slightly, forcing a smile, and reminded him, after Mian finishes her task, I'll let you talk to them, okay? The host, having gotten the answer he wanted, didn't press further. Okay, thank you for the interview, Mian. Our interview concludes here. He thought to himself, so cute. I definitely want another daughter in the future. Suddenly, the little girl blocked the host's microphone and reminded him, Uncle, call your son and tell him not to go forward. The host was surprised. My son is only 4 years old. He doesn't have a phone. The little girl persisted, urging, then call his mom. Her eyes sparkled with sincerity as she looked at the man in front of her. You're a good person. Mian doesn't want you to be sad. Seeing him stunned, Su Chinfei impatiently urged, hurry up and call. If you don't, I will. Hearing this, he immediately snapped back to attention. I'll call. Confused comments appeared on the barrage. Wait, how did this suddenly turn from a reality show into a theological interview? I'm dying of laughter. This child is like a little master. The call connected, and someone from the program crew spoke in a low voice. He asked, "Hello, dear. Where did you hear that?" His wife sounded puzzled, but responded gently, "Honey, I'm taking our son to his talent class. Aren't you filming today? How do you have time to call?" He glanced at the little girl and said softly to his wife, "Nothing. Just wanted to remind you not to rush. Wait a little while before leaving." His wife asked, confused, "Huh? Why suddenly?" Suddenly, a loud crash. His wife's voice was replaced by a scream. "Ah." Seeing this, he frantically shouted, "Honey." On the other end of the phone, two cars, one black and one white, collided right at the crosswalk. It was a close call. The producer's wife, holding her child, her face paler than a ghost, said, "Honey, there was just a car accident. It's a good thing you called. I slowed down. If I had been a few steps faster, my child and I would have been hit." Back at the Sue family villa, the entire program crew stared wide-eyed at the little girl, thinking, no way did she really predict that. Mian Mian patted her chest and let out a long sigh of relief. Little Bean also relaxed. Phew, that was close. She quickly regained her cheerful demeanor, smiling like a little fox. "Wow, that's great. Such a close call." The staff member gratefully grasped her small hand. "Thank you so much. If it weren't for that phone call, they would have been in danger. I could never have forgiven myself." Mian Mian blinked her bright eyes at him. "It's okay. You saved a baby before too. This is just your reward." He scratched his head, looking bewildered. "Saved a baby? I don't remember." Suddenly, he remembered. "Oh, right. 3 days ago, I pulled a high school student away from an electric scooter on the street." He stared at the little girl in admiration, giving her 2 thumbs up. "You even knew about that. That's amazing." Su Chinfei bent down, praising her gently and curiously. "Our little ancestor can even tell fortunes. How remarkable." Her face flushed from the praise, and she covered it, giggling. Hee. She patted his head like she was petting a puppy. "Thank you, 7th Grandpa, for the compliment. You're amazing too." After that day, the trending topics were all little ancestor fortune telling, and little ancestor predicts car accident. The comment sections exploded. The Sue family must have paid for this, trying to make her into some kind of fortune teller. Unless she can predict something else, I don't believe it. Seeing is believing. The program crew, seeing the soaring popularity, were overjoyed. "We've broken 3 million views." The higher-ups shouted over the intercom, "Strike while the iron is hot." Keep promoting her fortune-telling. Receiving the boss's instructions, the staff continued the interview. "We'd like to continue the interview, Master Mian Mian. Can you interact with the audience and demonstrate your abilities? How else can you divine?" The little girl, holding the microphone, said innocently, "I can't just tell fortunes for anyone. Mommy says I can only do it for people who are destined to meet me, and there's a price." Her eyes sparkled. "Like you, doing good deeds, but encountering bad luck. That's something I can divine." She suddenly stopped, trying hard to remember. "Oh, good deeds." Then, completely ignoring the staff, she started rummaging through her backpack. Like a little scientist, after a while, she pulled out a glass bottle, staring at the object in her hand, surprised. "Wow, there's really water in it." Mian Mian hugged the small bottle, thinking quickly. Fortune-telling is like doing good deeds. It can accumulate merit. So should Mian Mian help more people by telling fortunes. "I can feel Mommy and Daddy waking up soon." The staff member, watching her smile, cautiously asked, then, "Master Mian Mian, what price do we have to pay?" She winked playfully, indicating Mian Mian needs to calculate the price first. She then pulled out 3 small copper coins. The netizens instantly went into a frenzy, fortune-telling coins. "She's really taking herself for a fortune teller. They must be from Taobao." "Wait, that's not right. I checked. Fortune-telling coins don't look like that. My grandfather is a coin collector. They say Ban Liang on them. They're from the Qin dynasty. They're real. Someone's offering 5 million for 1 coin. Oh my god, 3 coins are 15 million. So expensive." Little ancestor tossed the 3 copper coins into the air. The camera zoomed in on her cute little face. She looked at the coins on the ground, thought carefully, then said crisply, "Within 7 days, Mian Mian can only tell fortunes 3 times for destined people. There are only 2 left today, and it will cost 888 spirit coins." The staff member was confused. "Then how do you choose destined people?" The little girl pointed at the air. "The hexagram shows that the person who always tells you what to do is another uncle. That uncle knows everything." She brought her round little face close to the camera and asked, "Are you sitting across from me watching? Aren't you right across the street?" A man wearing glasses watched everything unfold, marveling, "This child is quite interesting." He waved his hand, instructing the woman behind him, "Pick 2 random fans from a live stream." The little one stared happily at the staff member's phone, and the man in glasses practically jumped with excitement. "I want to see what other miracles this child can pull off." The little one pointed at the phone and said, "Let's choose them." Her soft little hand gently touched the screen. The screen lit up, displaying the live stream's lottery winners. "Ha ha ha, Su Chinfei, get out of the entertainment industry." She read the comment aloud, then innocently asked, "Why does everyone want my Chi-Chi to leave the entertainment industry? Is the entertainment industry bad?" The production team was stunned, thinking a child's words straight to the soul. A bullet comment clearly floated by. "Su Chinfei, get out of the entertainment industry. Of course, it's because your Chi-Chi did something bad and wants to whitewash it." "No way." The little one read it and let out an ah, a hand gently stroking her hair. Su Chinfei bent down and gently comforted Mian. "All right, little ancestor, stop looking at the comments. Let's go." She obediently nodded. "Okay." Then, the live stream connected to a sweet girl named Meow Meow. She waved and greeted, "Hello, Mian. Do you need a fortune telling? Should I tell your fortune?" Mian generously waved her hand. No need, Sister Meow Meow. Transfer the fortune-telling fee first, then tell me what you want to ask." This time, both Su Chinfei and the production team were stunned, thinking, "You have to transfer the fee for a fortune-telling first." She smiled and took out a cute little phone from her pocket. Su Chinfei couldn't help but laugh. Our little ancestor is really efficient. On the other end, Meow Meow rested her chin in her hand, worried. "I want to ask where my cat went. I've been looking for a whole month, and I've posted lost cat notices all over the neighborhood, but I still can't find it." The little one calmly calculated with her fingers and said, "Your cat is 2 houses to the left of your house." The girl retorted in shock. "I've already asked them, and they said they haven't seen a cat." But she still obediently said, "Then I'll go ask again." With that, she picked up her phone and went out. After a while, the doorbell rang, and a voice came from inside the house. "Little girl, what are you doing at my house again? I told you last time, the cat isn't here." The little one calmly pointed at the screen and said, "Call the police." Great-granddaughter said, "Call the police if you see anything on the road." Meow Meow was dumbfounded, and the netizens who heard her suggestion were also uncomfortable, shouting, "Why call the police? What if it's not true? Can this child take responsibility? What if this blows up?" Su Chinfei stepped forward and took the phone, saying coldly, "Give me the address. I'll call the police. If it's fake, I'll take responsibility." Hearing that someone had her back, Meow Meow made up her mind. "Okay, then I'll call the police." At this moment, an old woman walked out of the house, complaining, "It's just a cat. Is it necessary? What's wrong with letting my grandson play with it for a few days?" Then, a little white cat with blue eyes walked out. The old woman panicked a bit, pleading, "Don't call the police, okay? I'll return the cat to you. The cat is fine." Seeing her cat come out unharmed, Meow Meow was moved and hugged the cat, crying, "Xiao Bai, come to mommy." The bullet comments instantly flooded the screen. "So glad it's been found. Oh my God, you're amazing. Congratulations. This old woman is so bad. I still think we should call the police. It's good that the cat is back. Little ancestor is amazing." The little one excitedly jumped up and down, showing off. "Great-grandpa, I was right." Su Chinfei looked at her dotingly. "Yes, our little ancestor is the best." After being patted on the head, the little one grinned. The live stream continued, connecting to the second guest. Guest number 2 frankly said, "The money has been transferred. I want to ask how my younger brother is doing now." The screen displayed her username, Su Chinfei, get out of the entertainment industry, and Mian's daily life. She looked directly at the phone and confidently declared, "Everyone should know me, right? I'm the administrator of Movie Emperor Ching's fan club, and there's absolutely no way I would hire someone to act. I must make someone like Su Chinfei get out of the entertainment industry." She thought smugly, "I don't even have a younger brother. Let's see what she says." Mian stared at her seriously for a long time. Seeing her thoughtful look, netizens began to speculate. What's going on? Is the script wrong? Did they accidentally connect to an anti-fan who can't act? The person above is overthinking it. How can a 3-year-old act? What's real can't be fake. This is the administrator of our Movie Emperor's fan club. So amazing, she directly exposed their trick. The little girl's eyes sparkled. Your younger brother hasn't been feeling well lately. Guest number 2 immediately retorted, you're lying. I don't even have a younger brother. Your Sue family just bullies people because you're rich. She proudly held up a red household registration book. This is my family's household registration. Little girl, tell the truth or the police will arrest you. Netizens chimed in, haha, she's been exposed. The organizers should terminate the contract with this deceitful team. Terminate. Mian Mian tried to defend herself, innocently saying, no, Mian Mian's family never lies. Mian Mian isn't lying. You saw your younger brother yesterday. Seeing the little girl persist, guest number 2 pressed her, I don't have a younger brother. How could I have seen him? Tell me where you saw him. The little girl started to recall and describe. When you went to buy something, it was like milk, but it had little balls in it. Your younger brother gave it to you. Guest number 2 was still unconvinced. Everyone drinks milk tea nowadays. That doesn't prove anything. I'm still saying, I don't have a younger brother. The little girl's eyes were clear, frank, and firm. Your parents are still looking for your younger brother. You can ask them and you'll know. Several images flashed through the little girl's mind. Mian Mian began to describe, your younger brother was taken away when you were 6 years old. At that time, your younger brother was sitting in the car and you were crying. Guest number 2 still didn't believe her. I'm going to expose this scam. Let's see what else you can say. As soon as she finished speaking, she dialed her mother's phone number. Su Chinfei and Mian Mian continued to watch her intently. She glanced at them smugly. Just then, her mother's voice came from the phone. Yuan, what's wrong? Mom's at work. She asked loudly, Mom, I want to ask you something. Do I really have a younger brother? On the other end of the phone, her mother's voice suddenly trembled. How did you know? Did you suddenly remember? Hearing this, she froze and asked, Mom, do you mean I really do have a younger brother? While sobbing, she looked at a photo and recalled, that year, in order to buy you cotton candy, your younger brother was snatched by human traffickers. Your dad was so angry that he scolded you, and you had a high fever for several days, almost didn't make it. Since then, the family hasn't dared to mention it again, afraid you'd be sad. She held a photo of a little girl holding her younger brother. Having been so happy once, it was hard to accept. Su Mian Mian stubbornly asked, but there's only my name on our household registration. The truth had come to light. Grandma explained, your younger brother was only 11 months old at the time. He hadn't been registered yet. She was silent for a moment, looking at the cute little girl on the screen, accepting the reality. She said, Mom, someone said my brother is now selling milk tea at the milk tea shop downstairs. Come with me to see if it's true. On the other end of the phone, Grandma was ecstatic. Okay, I'll be right back. Having brought good fortune, Mian Mian happily clapped her little hands. Great. The family will be reunited soon. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The little girl sweetly asked, the fortune-telling is over. Can we go to the airport now? According to the itinerary, he said, yes, there will be a car to pick everyone up for the airport in 30 minutes. Before leaving, the little girl didn't forget to give gifts. These are safety charms for everyone. They can protect you while I'm gone. Su Chinfei looked at the little girl tenderly and said, I'll take good care of great-grandma. But everyone was only concerned about the imminent parting with the little girl. Mrs. Su said sentimentally, little ancestor, I'm going to miss you so much. Su Qingjin instructed, great-grandma, remember to come back soon. Su Linqing added, if that brat doesn't behave, little ancestor, just hit him, don't hold back. He felt a little left out. Why didn't anyone say goodbye to me? The little girl replied, Mian Mian will miss you all too. Everyone, take care of yourselves. As soon as they arrived at the airport, he greeted, my good brother is here. He immediately went to greet his best friend. You guys are as fast as ever. The newcomer was actor Chintow, also Su Chinfei's best friend. The little girl looked at him in surprise. She thought to herself, this bracelet, how can it have the exact same aura as the beautiful lady at the banquet a few days ago? At this moment, he said amiably, is this your daughter? Hello. What a cute little one. He explained, I was just about to say this is my great-grandma, little ancestor, really my great-grandma. We've already clarified it on the live stream. Don't worry, I don't have any illegitimate children. Hearing this, Chintow was a little disappointed, silent for a moment, then smiled brightly. So it's little ancestor. I never would have guessed. Then he politely said, little ancestor, this is my younger brother, Ahau. We even prepared a gift for you. The little boy immediately imitated him. Little ancestor, this is a gift for you. Thank you, older sister. The little girl accepted the gift and gave one in return. This is Mian Mian's return gift. Seeing the ugly little wooden figure, The entire comment section erupted in laughter. I'm dying of laughter. That Barbie doll is the latest limited edition, worth 30,000 yuan, which is over 100 million Vietnamese dong, and the return gift is a piece of wood. Isn't the Su family supposed to be rich? Why can't they be a little polite and prepare a decent gift? So stingy. He kindly said, "Ah, such a precious gift. You must keep it safe and don't lose it." But in his heart, he thought, I can't believe the Su family is so rich, yet they just fob us off with a piece of broken wood. How ridiculous. But this time, I'll be generous and see whose gift is better. It will definitely attract a wave of fans. Mian immediately reached into her magic pouch. A few seconds later, she took out a similar wooden figure and said, "Let me teach you how to play with this." She twisted it and, suddenly, the wooden figure transformed into a cute little wooden bird flying around the child. The child exclaimed, "Wow." She added, "It's a pity there's no lake here. If there were, it could turn into a little fish and swim around in the water." The comments section exploded again. "Oh my God, this thing can transform into so many things. Is it some kind of mechanical art? Those who called it a piece of broken wood earlier, are you embarrassed now? This is much more fun than dress-up dolls and combs. I'm so envious. Andy, I want one too." Of course, Su Chinfei wasn't going to be outdone. He whined, "Annie, you have such fun toys. Why don't you give one to your grandson?" The little girl said innocently, "But this is a toy for children. You're a grown-up. It's not suitable for you." So he immediately pretended to cry, "Wah, Annie, I want one too." The comment section burst into laughter once more. "Ha ha 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 ha, I'm dying of laughter." Su Chinfei, the master of expression management, screenshotted. Another new meme is born. "Seriously, I also want this little toy. Auntie, can you open shop?" Helplessly, the little girl comforted him and gave him one. "Don't cry, be good. This is for you. This is for you." He immediately beamed and started playing with the little wooden bird. Mian said angrily, "You weren't even crying. You tricked me." He replied without hesitation, "How could I dare, Annie? If I didn't get the toy, your grandson would really cry." At this moment, Ahau exposed him. "You're tricking Annie. Grown-ups like to tease children, even trying to trick us out of our toys." So the little girl said, "Grandson, lower your head." Then she scolded him, "You can't lie anymore, grandson. Lying is not something a good child should do, understand?" He replied obediently, "I was wrong. I was wrong, Annie. I won't lie anymore. Auntie, please forgive me." The little girl said with satisfaction, admitting your mistakes is what a good child does. Annie forgives you. The toy is still yours, but you're not allowed to do this again, understand?" Seeing this scene, everyone's hearts melted again. Annie is so cute. She makes me want to have a daughter. With Annie around, even Su Chinfei becomes well-behaved. As a result, everyone viewed him more favorably, and the comments were full of praise. "Ah, why is our grandson so fond of toys? So cute." Didn't they say Su Chinfei was a frivolous, impolite, and short-tempered young master? He seems pretty good now. Yes, I'm about to become his fan. Looking at the trending topics, the top spots were all news related to Su Chinfei's family, including 3-year-old teaches Su Chinfei a lesson and little Annie fortune teller. Chintow thought bitterly, "No, if this continues, Su Chinfei and that child will definitely steal all the fans. How can they steal my spotlight? This time, I must absorb all his luck and make sure he never recovers." With this evil thought, the demonic bracelet suddenly emitted a strong light, the strange, evil bracelet glowing brightly. From afar, a noble figure approached, and someone shouted, "Huiji." It turned out that the woman with the powerful aura was the movie star Lu Hui, and the little girl beside her was her daughter, Gugu. Chintow excitedly turned his head and shouted, "A Fei, come say hello. Huiji is here." Su Chinfei had an indifferent and disdainful expression. Mian asked with confusion, "Grandnephew, why aren't you saying hello? That's very impolite." He replied impatiently, "Why should I say hello to her? I don't want to suck up to her." Chintow quickly explained for him, "Huiji, don't misunderstand. A Fei didn't mean anything by it." He secretly chuckled, "A Fei, you just don't understand manners." Mian skipped over to Lu Hui. "Hello, Annie." The little girl thought, "This Annie looks like a good person." Lu Hui asked with a kind smile, "Little friend, what's your name?" The clever little girl introduced herself. "My name is Su Mian." Mian also enthusiastically held up her jade bracelet. "This is a small welcome gift I prepared. I hope you don't mind my grandnephew's impoliteness." Hearing this, Lu Hui asked in surprise, "Grandnephew, are you talking about Su Chinfei?" Seeing the valuable jade bracelet in Mian's hand, she thought to herself, the quality of this jade is worth at least 100,000 yuan. Such a valuable thing, and the little girl gives it away so casually. What is the relationship between Su Chenfei and Chintow? Su Chenfei quickly explained to Huijia that the little girl, Mian Mian, who was with him was actually his great-aunt, small in age, but very high in seniority. At this point, he suddenly glanced at Jiu Yuer and said, "By the way, Ahao also prepared a gift for your sister." Yuer shyly hid behind Lu Hui. Lu Hui said apologetically, "Sorry, my daughter is a little shy. I just wanted her to make more friends, so I brought her along." At this time, the netizens began to discuss amongst themselves. Those in the know all knew that Huijia had previously posted on Weibo that she was just too busy with work to take care of her child like ordinary people. I was also hard to get close to when I was young, but I gradually changed. Suddenly, someone recognized something. "Wait, where did the thing on her waist go? What is little aunt doing?" Just then, Mian Mian stepped forward and asked, "Your name is Yuer, right?" "My name is Mian Mian. Our names sound similar. If Yuer doesn't like the necklace, I have a lot of fun things in my bag." As she spoke, the little girl quickly dumped the toys from her bag onto the ground. Yuer looked at her curiously. Just like that, one big and one small carefully looked over each of Mian Mian's little trinkets. Seeing the beautiful butterfly hair clips, Lu Hui couldn't help but think, "I recently saw the exact same butterfly artifact in the museum. Did the Su family collect so many precious treasures just to give them to this child?" Yuer softly said, "The butterflies are so pretty." Hearing this, Lu Hui immediately became nervous. "My daughter has such good taste. What am I going to do?" Seeing that the little girl liked them, Mian Mian didn't hesitate to hand over the butterfly hair clips. "Here you go." The netizens instantly exploded. "I study archaeology, and there's an identical pair in the museum. It said they were made for the emperor's most beloved daughter. A museum piece. Don't tell me it's stolen." Netizens from Beicheng, don't talk nonsense. The wooden figures are also very exquisite. Maybe they're family heirlooms. In any case, little aunt is too generous. If I had such beautiful jewelry, I would definitely not be willing to give it away. Lu Hui felt very awkward. This is too valuable. How can I repay this favor, especially since Su Chenfei already has a prejudice against me? As if seeing through Lu Hui's thoughts, the little girl comforted her. "It's okay, we have a lot more in the warehouse." The little girl continued with a bright smile. "Here's a pair for Yuer too. Mian Mian likes you." This time, Lu Hui didn't refuse and turned to her daughter. "All right, Yuer, let's accept the gift. We'll return the favor when we visit her house." "Okay." Mian Mian sweetly suggested, "Yuer, let's wear them together." Saying that, the little girl took out another pair of pink butterfly hair clips. Yuer's eyes immediately lit up, but before she could speak, Lu Hui stopped her. "Yuer, don't be greedy. Yuer agreed zomavat disappointedly." "Okay." Seeing the little girl a bit sad, Mian Mian immediately picked up a pink butterfly and handed it over. "We can share this butterfly. Actually, I like both colors." Yuer nodded happily. Mian Mian's generosity and thoughtfulness amazed the netizens. "Oh my god, our little aunt is so calm, generous, and smart. If I had so many elders, I would definitely stick to them every day. So cute, so young, and yet so thoughtful. What kind of family is this?" The little girl ran happily towards Chenfei and shouted, "Grandnephew, help Mian Mian put it on." Chenfei responded indulgently, "Okay." After putting it on, the little girl excitedly twirled around and said cutely, "Look." At this time, Chenfei quickly grabbed her hand. "It's time to board. Let's go." But Mian Mian shook off his hand and ran towards Yuer with her little legs. The little girl enthusiastically took Yuer's hand and said, "Grandnephew, you're all grown up. You can walk by yourself. Mian Mian wants to go with Yuer." Hearing this, Chenfei's worldview shattered, and he cried heartbrokenly, "Great aunt, don't you want me anymore? Great aunt, really don't you want me anymore?" Everyone quickly boarded the plane. Mian Mian held Yuer's hand and sat next to her. "Let's sit together, okay?" Yuer nodded happily, Su Chenfei followed behind, holding his phone, happily thinking, "I'm going to sit with Great Aunt and take pictures to send to my family." After all, it's Great Aunt's first time on a plane. But just as he was about to sit down, Lu Hui stopped him. "Wait," she suggested, "let me sit with them. You're such a big person, you wouldn't know how to take care of children." Su Chenfei retorted angrily, "Who says I don't know how to take care of children? Our family trained me since I was young." Lu Hui forced a smile. "My daughter is afraid of you." But Su Chenfei stubbornly sat next to Mian Mian. "I'm not sitting with your daughter, I'm sitting with my great aunt." Mian Mian reminded him worriedly, "Grandnephew, don't get too close. Yuer is afraid of you. Be good, go sit somewhere else, okay?" Hearing this, his face immediately changed. "Great aunt, don't you want me anymore?" Su Chinfei burst into tears, heartbroken. I even had my pose ready for the photo. Now Annie doesn't want me anymore. Wah! The netizens were stunned once again. Seriously, Su Chinfei is actually crying because he can't sit with Mian Mian. I'm dying of laughter, huh? This is the first time I've seen Su Chinfei cry. He didn't even cry when those haters threw rotten eggs at him. Oh my god, Su Chinfei is actually quite cute. Mian Mian was speechless at his reaction. Is this great nephew of mine, even an adult, crying over something so trivial? Her heart softened. Turning to the little girl, she said, Yu, my great nephew is crying. How about letting him sit with us? Yu, a little less shy now, nodded in agreement. Okay, let your great nephew sit with us. Seeing this, Lu Hui didn't object. She said happily to her daughter, Yu, how about mommy sits over there? The little girl confidently replied, okay, mommy. Li Hui glanced at Su Chinfei and sighed. Watching him gently play with the two children, she suddenly felt puzzled. This is clearly a good kid. Why do I suddenly feel like there's so much tension between us? She remembered when Su Chinfei had just debuted and they were in the same drama crew. He was eager to learn and asked her for advice about everything, very diligent and studious. After filming Rap, the next time she heard news about him, it was that he had hit a female actress on set, instantly becoming a trending topic. Su Chinfei hitting someone, a hot-tempered rich young master. And that actress hadn't really done anything wrong that day, just hadn't performed very well. Because of Su Chinfei's actions, she had specifically given him a piece of advice. Chinfei, you're quite popular now. You still need to pay attention to your image. But he had replied dismissively, what are you saying? Just because I call you Sister Hui, you really think you're my sister. Li Hui was so angry she wanted to press him further. Chinfei, you. Before she could finish, Chintow appeared and pulled Su Chinfei away. Chinfei is in a bad mood today, Sister Hui. Don't mind him. I'll take him downstairs to rest. Thinking back on it now, Li Hui felt puzzled. Back then, Chintow always seemed to appear out of nowhere. Otherwise, how could he have shown up at just the right moment every time? She glanced towards Chintow, thinking that he was also participating in the show this time. She wondered what would happen. Suddenly, a chorus of "so cute" startled her. Su Chinfei was playing affectionately with the two little girls, and the netizens' opinions of him had changed. Wow, Su Chinfei is so gentle. If he had children, he'd definitely be a good father. I've changed my mind. Someone who can treat children gently can't be that bad. Su Chinfei must have been acting. He even mentored a second-tier actress before. Li Yihue smiled with satisfaction. So gentle, where's that arrogant young master from the internet? Unnoticed, Chintow muttered jealously to himself. TCH, why is the production team still filming Su Chinfei? That little brat has sucked away all my luck. I've never missed before, and something will definitely happen on set this time. I just need to wait for the show. Thinking of this, he smiled sinisterly. The production team excitedly announced, welcome back to the live stream. We just got off the plane and are waiting for a celebrity couple and an amateur guest. Suddenly, there was a commotion up ahead. Let go of me. I don't want to be on TV with Mom. It's not fun at all. I want to go back to Grandma's house. A woman in a beautiful pink dress, Shu Weiwei, was pulling a little boy's hand. The boy, Wang Zai, struggled desperately and cried loudly. Oh, sweetie, there are lots of kids on the bus to play with. It'll be very fun, the woman coaxed patiently. The little boy looked disgusted, tears welling up in his eyes. Suddenly, the little boy pointed at Mian Mian and shouted, I want to play with her. He ran towards her, chanting, butterfly, 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 butterfly. Caught off guard, Mian Mian warmly took off her hair clip. Do you want to see my little butterfly hairpin? Before she could finish, the little boy snatched the butterfly hairpin from Mian Mian's head. The girl screamed in pain. Oh, that hurts. The little boy finally pulled the hairpin and a strand of Mian Mian's hair out together. The little girl's eyes widened, and she asked, why did you snatch my butterfly? Wang Zai, acting like a little tyrant, not only didn't apologize, but stuck his tongue out provocatively. Humph, I just wanted to snatch your butterfly. Hit me if you can. As soon as he finished speaking, a hand grabbed the little boy by the collar from behind. Chinfei angrily lifted the little boy up. Apologize to my little ancestor right now.